the government acts as our nanny, does it act as a benevolent dictator or a horrifying tyrant? Let's look at New York. New York has just put a ban on salt, which would fine restaurants $1,000 for each violation. In North Carolina, the state wants access to private health records of anyone who has taken prescription painkillers. Isn't this an invasion of privacy to people who need them? And in South Carolina, a curfew for anyone 17 or younger has been proposed. Penalties are $100 or 2 days in jail. Isn't this an issue to be decided by the family? Let's look at how the government is trying to regulate the internet and other forms of electronic communication. In 2006, Megan Meyer committed suicide after being harassed over the internet. While this is a tragedy, a new law is not the answer every time a tragedy occurs. Let's look at the bill. The wording is vague. What level of emotional distress is going to be criminal? If the government tries to take away our free speech in the name of protecting us from bullying, who's the real bully? We'd like to believe that government can snap its fingers and magically order our lives, but the reality is it can't. All it can do is take our freedoms and give us the illusion of security.
I'm so hungry.
I heard we got a new menu.
It's beautiful. And what will you have today?
Okay, how about some fries?
4 grams of trans fats and 22% of your daily fat intake? Nuh-uh. But you can have some goat milk, frozen yogurt, with carrot sauce and whole wheat sprinkles.
What? This is ridiculous. 1 yogurt to go, please. So much fun!
Hold your horses, kiddo. That's dangerous. 1 person per bike. Helmets at all times. Knee pads and elbow pads. Now you're safe to walk home.
What's his problem?
That's it. Who the are you? And why the are you censoring me? Why, I'm government guy, your policy pal. Someone with an axe signal, so here I am.
So what exactly is going on here?
I use laws to help you make the right decisions, and to stop you from making the wrong ones.
You aren't really helping me, you're forcing me.
Listen, Cupcake, look at the bright side. Everyone gets what they want. The lobbyists get their special interest laws, politicians build out their PR image, and the citizens' lifestyles are changed for the better.
Well, all I see is payment. The taxpayers' budget goes to unnecessary laws instead of more pressing issues. Citizens lose freedom and are forced to change their lives. You're trying to mold people into your image of the perfect moral citizen. Government intervention itself bears a cost in this. More laws means more pressure on limited resources for law enforcement. All this hyper-regulation just snowballs. If we can tax kids' meals, what's to stop us from taxing ice cream?
As the government, it's my duty to protect citizens.
Yeah, under certain conditions. And these conditions can be found in the Charter of Human Rights and Freedoms. The government's role is to guarantee personal security and freedom, not to be the source. You endanger us when you hyper-regulate and take away our right to make our own choices. You endanger us when you choose to enforce silly laws instead of bettering more important ones that prevent our security and freedom from being taken away.
I see where you're getting at. Okay, so what should I do now? You can start by letting me be my own person.
You're a government guy, not Mr. Mom. That means stop coddling your citizens like children. People know that seatbelts keep you safe and buckle up for their own safety. They won't suddenly start using them because the government says so. And people obviously know that a salad is healthier than a double cheeseburger. That won't stop them from ordering it. How can people strive to better themselves if they have some superhero watching them, robbing them of their dignity? Society should be free, and that freedom means things aren't perfect.
California has banned restaurants from giving out toys and meals they deem to be too unhealthy, while San Francisco is extending its Happy Meal ban to all McDonald's breakfast foods. It has also banned soft drinks and flavored water from all vending machines on public property. New York put a ban on aluminum bats. Nativity scenes and the 10 Commandments have been banned from many public places in the US, and children in public schools have even been forbidden to sing religious hymns at Christmas events. While some of this may seem trivial, the nanny state can be a very serious thing, like in the recent housing crash. The government passed legislation that forced banks to give loans to people who couldn't afford to pay them back, on properties declining in value, all in the name of not discriminating. But how does the government get to that level of control? Well, nothing gets people more accustomed to the nanny state than the state being their actual nanny. If the state controls the schools, it increases students' expectation of how much control the state should have. The school is where the nanny state begins. Some schools in the US forbid prayer, the word God, pictures of guns, and wearing American patriotic clothing. And some consider crucifixes and other Christian symbols to be gang signs. But don't we have to have government-run schools? If not, how would the poor get an education? Years ago, the mayor of Moscow, Popov, was asked a question about something state-run, but even more important than schools. Food. At the time, people had to wait in line for hours just to get a loaf of bread from the government-run bakeries. Popov was asked when he planned on privatizing them. He was shocked and said, "We can't privatize the bakeries. People need to eat." And in China, when Mao took over the farming system, it caused one of the most severe famines in history. But here in the US, we have private farming and private bakeries, and the poor aren't starving. The same applies to schools. Privatizing them won't end education, it would just get them out of the government's control. But can these nanny policies sometimes be a good thing? Sure, smoking is bad for you, and so is a fast food breakfast, but do you really want government micromanaging your life to that extent? Simply being in the government doesn't make someone a wiser or better person. Every government is made out of people who act out of self-interest, or simply make mistakes. When we give up our decision-making freedom on trivial matters, it's only a matter of time before we lose our freedom on important matters.
Quan Production is proud to present A Monopoly on Lives. Every day the sick wait. Some wait for hours. Some wait for days. Some wait for months. Some wait in fear. Some wait not knowing. Some live in pain. Some will only ever wait in name, ink on paper. For some, it will be too late. In Canada today, there is a serious problem. Our healthcare system has failed too many Canadians. Wait lines are too long. Government inefficiencies are too great. And Canadians aren't getting the quality of care they need or deserve. Take the story of Jordan Johansson, an 18-year-old who died while waiting 12 hours for critical surgery on March 25, 2007. His death? Unacceptable, and yet Jordan's story is just one of hundreds that speak to the fact that the government's monopoly on healthcare is costing Canadian lives and freedoms. In the words of Mark Stein, a citizen of an advanced democracy expects to be able to choose from dozens of different breakfast cereals and hundreds of movies. But when it comes to a life or death decision about his own body, he has the choice taken out of his hands and given to the government. Currently, it's illegal to set up private healthcare in Canada because the government retains the right to protect their precious monopoly. This sheltered system has created an environment devoid of competition, resulting in exorbitant costs and a low quality of care. Allowing private healthcare in Canada would relieve the crushing weight of bureaucracy and allow our healthcare system to serve Canadians fully. In our democracy, we value the right to choose our government, to choose our faith, and to choose our ideals. But why can't we choose when it comes to healthcare? Some people say that we have free healthcare, but free healthcare has never cost us more. It's costing us lives, it's costing us billions, and most of all, it's cost us our freedom.